Hello everyone, and welcome to the Tailored Acres YouTube channel. I'm Taylor and I am a home gardener in Wisconsin Zone 4B. And Hank wants to say hi. In this video, I am going to go over how I am attempting to grow ranunculus in my zone for this year. It is a big challenge because they like a long, cool growing season. And as you all know, our spring is really short here. And it can be hot or cold, and that presents a lot of issues with growing ranunculus. So I will be starting mine here mid-February, and I've seen a lot of different dates on this. So I just stuck with mid-February. We're going to try that this year. Ranunculus are extremely hard for us to grow up here in the north, and I'm hoping that by sharing this knowledge with you, you can also share your knowledge with us, and we can all get better together. Here are the two varieties that I picked out for this year, and I got them from Blooming Hill Farm. They came and they look great, so I have no reservations about ordering from them in the future. So of these two varieties here, you can see they look crazy. They're like little dried out octopus. So they go in the soil with the pointy ends down, and they'll grow out of this crown here. And you can save these year to year, which is my plan if I can get them to grow. Some of them, like this one here, you can see if it will focus, there are two crowns in there. So once we hydrate them, we may be able to split it and get a bonus one. We'll find out here. All right, and then for other equipment that I have these bags that I'm going to put each variety in along with their tags so that I can keep their names separate. And then, whoops, if we scroll over here, I also have some water, or a bowl for some water, and then my faucet here. I put my corms in the bags along with the tags to keep them separated. And, you know, if you just had one variety, you don't have to put them in a bag or anything. I'm just doing that because I want to keep mine separate so that I can label them accordingly, because I think the color is going to be pretty close. So just in case I want to know which one is specifically which one, I can. So I'm going to fill this up, and I'm just going to cover the corms here. See if these bags work, if they float or too much. Okay, so they're covered. I'm going to see if I can get them to sink here, because they do need to be submerged. All right, looks like it's working. So what I'm going to do now is soak these for 3 hours. And I'm going to probably shoot for like half an hour because I know I'm going to miss a few. I'm going to come down and just run the water on these again to aerate them a little bit. I've seen very mixed information out there if this is a necessary step or not. But to me, because this is a somewhat new thing for me, I'm just going to follow all the steps. And then later, once I figure this out in a few years, I can do some testing with it. So full disclosure, I did this with ranunculus corms, I think 2 or 3 years ago now. And mine, I think I kept them somewhere too warm when they were doing their pre-sprouting, and they all got moldy and none of them sprouted. So I think it was user error. So this year I'm going to put them in my basement. I'm going to follow that darkness for like 10 to 14 days. I'm going to check on them every day. It is cooler down there, but it's still like 60 degrees, which is probably a little warmer than is advised for these. So we'll see how it works this year for that. So I am at the half an hour mark, so I'm just going to put a little bit more water in here and just kind of swish these around again. And I'm going to do that every half an hour. We are at about 3 hours of soaking time, and this is what the corms now look like. So all these little tentacles, I guess, are puffed back up. So we are going to get these planted in our soil right away. So a note on what size I selected here. I am going to be growing these on inside because, well, the ground's frozen outside. I'm not going to be able to get them outside. I'm a residential gardener and I don't have a high tunnel. So this is the method we're trying this year. So I'm selecting a larger tray size so that I don't have to move them around. We'll see how that works. So each one of these is going to get its own cell here, and I'm going to push them all down like that. So again, pointy ends down. And then I am going to show you next covering them with soil. So don't forget to add your labels. I have mine here and here if you have a couple different varieties. So my soil is pretty not damp, sorry, spent for words today. So the issue that I had last time was the mold. So this time I'm leaving my mix quite a bit more dry. You can see this, it will probably hold together a tiny bit, but I'm leaving it on the dry side to see how that works for me. So I'm gonna fill these all up, and then I'm gonna mist them in a little bit, and then I'll show you where I'm putting them in the basement. I did forget to mention that I am shooting for about an inch or two deep, hopefully 2 inches on here, just because that's what the depth are that you're supposed to plant them outside. So we're not just pre-sprouting them, we're going to be growing them on in these containers. So that's a little bit different. And then I'm also going to be putting vermiculite on top of these to help with moisture retention. So I'm going to get these misted in then. My apologies for the bad lighting, but here we are. I have this on my on our saw, or our tile saw, and it's about 60 degrees down here. Hopefully that stays cold enough for these. And I'm just gonna check on these every day. They should be pre-sprouted in 10 to 14 days, I believe. And once they have some growth on them, and that's not just like one of them, like multiple, hopefully like half of them will have a little bit of growth, I'll put them under the grow lights. I will be growing my ranunculus on here under my grow lights until the weather outside is cooperating. So what I'm going to look for is lows that are above 28 degrees. Once I get those lows above 28 degrees, hopefully my soil is workable and I can get them hardened off and planted outside. I am planning on having to use frost cloth to protect these. So that is one element that I am going to need once they are outside for protection. My hope for my ranunculus this year is that they are a nice size by the time I go to plant them out, and that we have a nice cool time for them to grow on and then also start producing their flowers, because once it starts to get warm, they are going to fizzle out and die off. And then at that point you can harvest your corms for next year. So they do have a really short season, and I'm hoping to get some beautiful blooms in the meantime. I wish you luck if you are taking on ranunculus this year in the north, and I hope that I have good luck as well so I can share my lessons learned with you next year. So happy gardening and take care.